This is the Week 4 overview for EDUT 547. And as we start November, our topics for this week are information processing, memory strategies. And this week, the outcomes are identify and explain the significance of the sensory and hemispheric preferences in teaching and learning, apply the concepts of memory, retention, and retrieval to teaching and learning, and integrate the elements of brain-compatible teaching into an engaging instructional unit of study. In this week's reading, we're going to read Chapter 2 plus just selected pages of Chapter 3. So don't read the whole thing, just pages 126 to 131 and 148 and 149. Then skim through pages 43 through 61 to get an overview and sense of the information processing model. We'll go back and we'll revisit these parts during the discussion board in your assignment. But this is an example of last week's lesson, wholes and parts together. And by doing this, both global and logic learners are happy. You may want to start by looking at the visual on page 45 before reading. Remember, the information processing model is just that, a model. It is actually an analogy for a very complex process. The articles this week are The Science of Drawing and Memory and 11 Ways to Improve Memory for Kids. Then the two videos, first a TED Talk, How Your Working Memory Makes Sense of the World, and Boosting Student Memory. Be sure to watch this week's e-lesson by pressing play, Memory in the Learning Brain. And then for this week, we have two discussion board prompts. First, turn to the Practitioner's Corner on pages 68 through 70 and complete the test. Then write a brief summary and reflection regarding the results of your test. Include the following: your test results, your reaction, were you surprised or not really? Reflect, how does your sensory preference favor your teaching? And also reflect on, how does your sensory preference help or hinder the students in your classroom? Post your summary and reflection in the discussion board by Thursday, and be sure to respond to at least 2 of your peers by Sunday. Then we have a second discussion board prompt. Sense and meaning. Explain the roles of and the relationship between sense and meaning. Give an example of a learning objective at your grade level. Explain how you will make sense of it to your students while also making it meaningful to them. That's pages 55 to 57. And then if you look on pages 78 through 79 in the Practitioner's Corner, you'll get some ideas. And again, post by Thursday and respond to at least 2 peers by Sunday. This week, the Christian message is from Philippians 4 through 9. And this week, submit assignment number 2, the information processing model analogy. Let's take a look. You're going to create a unique analogy for the information processing model. It'll help create meaning for you, help you store the concepts in long-term storage, and give you experience with the power of analogy. Finally, you'll be able to demonstrate mastery of the material. You'll want to include a graphic or a picture, diagram, image of your model that identifies all 4 features for 8 points, 2 each: sensory register, immediate memory, working memory, or long-term memory. And then in addition to the graphic, describe each feature explaining both its function and factors that influence it. So be sure to include all these on as separate headings with citations from the course content and use proper APA format. So you can look here, the root of the 5 senses, the role of threat and emotions, effects of past learning, capacity and time limits of each, the role of sense and meaning, the role of the cognitive belief system and self-concept, and then of course your APA citations. All of those together will be 22 points. And if you'd like to review the rubric, simply click here. There it is. So that is due by Sunday, the 8th, by midnight. And as a reminder, all the tasks are summarized here in the dark gray shaded box. Let's have a great week.